double check if we are live. No, we're not.
I think we're live.
Are we? Okay, we are live. Okay. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Now, we have a very special event for you all. My name is Kevin, and I will be your host for tonight. And we have a important topic that we want to discuss with you. Now, if you are in a place where you don't feel happy with what you're doing right now, and if you're starting to ask those deep questions, such as why aren't I happy, or why am I doing this, and is this the reason why I stayed, and it's just for the money? But if deep down inside that you know that there's something more, maybe you've been told that it's the safe path, but you don't feel like it isn't the safe path to happiness. Well, you're in the right place because tonight we have a very special guest, Kareena Lagamon, who will be talking about the courage to pursue your passions. Kareena, welcome.
Hi. Oh my gosh.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here, and that's melts my heart hearing that introduction.
Yeah.
Um,
Look,
yeah, we're gonna talk about courage to pursue our passions, and
yeah,
get
absolutely.
out you guys stories around it.
Yeah. And it's a very interesting topic as well because I feel like a lot of people are struggling, or they're asking these types of questions already, but they don't know what to do with it, right? And you've got that personal experience within yourself that has actually started to seek the answers to these questions, right? So I guess first off, to start with, or like, how do you identify like what is your passion for the people who don't know what they're passionate about? How did you identify yours, and how would someone identify theirs?
How how I personally knew what I was passionate about is it's the things that I consistently wanted to do, even if
Mm,
I'm paid or not. Or I
mm,
get to look back of the things
It's
I
the
wanted to do when I was young, when I was like maybe 4 years old, maybe 10. Like, what are those things that was consistent in my life?
I wanted.
mm,
So, those are clues. Those are like life clues of like how to know how I knew personally knew what my passions are. And one of
mm,
those are singing and
mm,
crafts, creating art and performing. Even when I was still young, that was very pretty consistent about me.
mm. That's very interesting right now because I love how you referred to kind of like the passions are some of the things that we were doing when we were young, right? So I guess in regard to that, like even before understanding what your or knowing what your passions were, what were you doing before you decided to basically develop that courage to decide to pursue your passion?
I'm sorry, you were cut for a little bit. Can you repeat the
Oh,
question for me?
yeah, absolutely. So basically, even before you knew what your passions were, like what were you currently
Hmm.
doing before that, before you decided to pursue your passions?
Well, I was as an adult when adulthood started to happen for me. It
Yeah.
was there were I was led to a path where I was told that, oh, this is the safe path. What that means or what that meant for my parents or for the social other or the society would tell me is like,
Mm,
go to school. And I know a lot of Asians really would, or
mm,
like majority of the world would relate to this. Like, okay, you have to be good in school. You have to have high grades. You have to have a degree. You have to graduate, and then have a career. Stick into
mm,
that career. Suck it up. You know, like all that. And so that's the thing that I was doing. I was following rules of my parents, of my society, and the things that was expected of me. So it wasn't really necessarily that I'm passionate about that. It was just it's what I was led to do, and I believed it, and I know for sure that my parents only wanted the best for me because that's just generational stuff, right? They like
Yeah.
their parents taught them that, and my parents taught me this, and so
Yeah.
no one just seemed to question that, and it was just like me,
Mm,
like, oh wait, I have to have this pause of have these questions for
mm.
myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I absolutely love that answer. And what were those questions that you were like asking yourself that made you even question of like
Mm.
what society, like what even your parents were saying to you?
Um, as as things progressed, when I was still young, when I was probably like 4, it was just so easy to follow rules, follow
Hmm.
a path.
Yeah.
And as I grew up, it didn't seem to fit for me. Like the rules doesn't
Mm-hmm.
seem to feel right, and so I
Mm-hmm.
started questioning of why I even if I was following the path that they're trying to lead me, I was asking myself that why doesn't this path feel right? Like I'm not comfortable with it anymore, even if it
Mm-hmm.
felt right, like the
Hmm.
quote unquote right path. And
Yeah.
and my association with the right path is feeling good. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
how I associated it with.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I was following the quote unquote the right path, it didn't feel good anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's when I started asking myself, so is this still the right path? Because it doesn't feel good anymore. So that's what led me to asking more questions. Just because
Yeah.
I was really trusting my feeling,
Mm-hmm.
probably that's the intuition telling me
Yeah.
of the path where I'm currently in. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was really the start.
Wow, that's very, very interesting. And I feel like a lot of people have those feelings as well, but they choose to either push it down or not act
Mm-hmm.
upon it, right? So, what was that turning? Before we go into some of the questions here, I just want to like let the viewers kind of like understand this because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people experience this. Like I know for once I've experienced it myself, but how did you know to actually follow that feeling instead of kind of like pushing it down or even ignoring it?
I love that question because that has been a question of multiple people when they're like, oh my gosh, you're so passionate about this. Like, how did you know? How did you
Mm,
know?
yeah.
Um, just like everyone else, I also push it down. Not gonna lie. I'm
Wow.
like I'm as human.
Yeah.
I'm as human as everyone else. I'm just like I
Yeah.
just like I also push it down. Um, what I feel like I am very very blessed and I'm very very thankful of is it didn't take me that long or I didn't have to
Mm,
reach a certain like I didn't reach 50 or like maybe 60 to
mhm.
realize that for myself.
Yeah.
It was it was a lot of pushing down of emotions because
Mm,
my mind was telling me no, this is the right path, this is what people are telling you, this is it,
yeah.
like you make much money here and then you're gonna be happy at the end of the tunnel. And so I was believing my mind, even if
Mm,
it hurts already. I keep on pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down,
mm,
and then came to a point where um, I was getting sick,
mm,
and that was the last message for me that
mhm.
I wasn't meant to do this because I'm really hurting my body already. And
Wow.
so that led me to more questions of like why can't I do this? This is what people are telling me to do, like this should be
Mhm,
right, right?
mhm.
And so when I cannot do anything because I'm already sick, I try to question myself like what if this would be this would sound so morbid probably, like what if this will be the end of me, what if like
Wow.
because my body, yeah,
Yeah.
because my body is hurting. And what if my body couldn't take it anymore because I keep on getting sick, I keep going in and out of the hospital and doctors
Okay.
couldn't see anything. And so I was keep on telling myself like, what if this would be the last? What would I rather do, or
Mhm,
where would I rather be?
mm,
And so those questions were answered that it's it's not this.
mhm.
It's not the corporate world. I mean, like I'm not closing doors, but like at that moment, at that time in the past, it wasn't true. It wasn't true. Like the 8 to 5 job wasn't right for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't like like a lot of listening, really a
Hmm.
lot of listening to the body, because really my body was telling me listen, 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 listen already, because I
Yeah.
cannot take it anymore.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what that led me to here.
Yeah. Wow, that is very inspiring, and it's amazing how you kind of like listen to your body and you're actually communicating with it and forming that connection with it as well, right? And a lot of people like tend to push that down, but I'm like really glad that you actually followed that intuition, and even follow that path. So, which segues to basically an amazing question that we have here, that is related to that. So, what do you
Mhm.
think, Karina, was the biggest fear you needed to conquer in pursuing your passion?
Oh, it was the people pleasing in me.
Hmm.
It was more of, because when it took time for me to realize that the society or my parents wanted for me isn't necessarily the best for me.
Okay.
And I get rewards. I get rewards for following rules.
Hmm.
And so I was so scared, if I'm not gonna follow rules, if I'm not gonna people please, everything will be against me. Like the
Hmm.
universe wouldn't like me anymore, my parents wouldn't like me anymore, my family wouldn't love me anymore. And so the biggest fear that I had to really, and I'm not gonna lie, this still happens up until now, and it's still something that I go through, but it's not as hard as it used to.
Hmm.
It's really people pleasing, and to most importantly know that I come first, what I want comes first, and then
Hmm.
everything is just a bonus. So that's
Wow.
the biggest fear that I had to conquer, is like the people pleasing part
Yeah.
of me, because I was hard wired
Yeah.
to people please.
Wow. That's very interesting, and I understand that maybe some of the audience members that are watching right now, or who's watching the
Mhm.
replay, they tend to be a people pleaser as well. So, how
Yeah.
did you actually step over that fear and actually overcome yourself and overcome the people pleasing to actually just let go and detach yourself to actually just take that leap of faith and do it?
Um, it was like going back to the emotions of I wasn't happy anymore.
Yeah.
Even if like the rewards, like I told, like I keep on having rewards, like people give me rewards by following rules. Even
Yeah.
that wasn't enough anymore. Like their
Yeah.
rewards for me, it really wasn't enough for me anymore. Like it doesn't push me, it doesn't motivate me.
Yeah.
Like not even money can motivate me anymore.
Wow.
Not even a stronger relationship with my parents. Like
Hmm.
that doesn't even motivate me anymore.
Mm.
So it was more of, I'm sorry to curse, but like it was more of like fuck it moment.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's already passion in that.
Yeah, like I was like, you know
Yeah.
what?
That's
I'm
it.
tired and like I don't care anymore. Fuck it. I'm just gonna jump
Yeah.
into it because I'm
Wow.
already lonely. I told Charlene this with when she asked me this. Like, um, at the end of this, the worst thing that could happen is I'm gonna end up lonely and alone. But
Yeah.
like, what am I fearing about? I'm already alone and lonely in here when I'm still following the rules. So the worst thing that could
Whoa.
happen at the end of that is I'm still gonna get lonely and alone. But what's the best thing? What's the other best
Yeah.
thing if I
Yeah.
follow that? So I'll get bliss. I'll find my joy. I'll find my purpose. I'll find my tribe. I'll
Hmm.
find purpose. So that's the things that I was very afraid about
Yeah.
is something that I was currently experiencing already.
Wow.
So yeah.
That is absolutely profound, right? That's actually really interesting that you actually were able to point that out. Like you already felt lonely and alone deep inside with what was currently happening. And you actually compared that contrast to, okay, what's the worst that can happen if I decide to pursue my passion? So
Yeah.
even for you to actually realize that is like extremely profound as well, right? So I really want to circle back to when you mentioned you kind of like even building a better connection with or relationship with your parents, right? And for you to actually just say no to that, or like that, having that fuck it moment, like maybe some of the audience members are attached to that, or they think like, okay, like my parents, I want to have that relationship with my parents. But how
Yeah.
did you like for you to even like step up? That's courage already. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
do you think courage was kind of like just a skill that was learned, or in that moment was mastered? Like, how did you develop that courage to just be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna do what makes me happy?
Up until now, when people ask me like, how did you find that courage? I still don't have the actual like solid answer to that. It was more of honoring, really honoring where I'm at. And I think courage comes from, like, I think courage really comes after.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes naturally when when I started to honor myself. It was like, you know
Wow.
what, I need this. This is like, this is what I need. This is what I want. This is where I want to
Mm-hmm.
go. And courage comes after because there was no more block. There
Mm-hmm.
was no, like, the vision is so clear to a point where like courage just comes. It's like grace. Like it just comes to you, and there was no reason anymore. And I think the courage comes when I started honoring myself already. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a gift. It's like courage is like a gift that comes after when I started loving myself more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's
I really,
absolutely beautiful. That is really beautiful because it is literally putting yourself first, right? And it sounds like
yeah.
if you didn't put yourself first, then how are you able to put other people, like to even help other people as well?
Yeah, it's I like to add this because a
Yeah,
lot of people
please
would
do.
tell or would say that like, just courage it up, like suck it up and just do it, like do your
Yeah.
passion. But like I want to emphasize, like, courage is not something that you choose. It's like
Mm.
courage chooses you.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Let courage choose you. As long as you
Yeah.
choose yourself, courage will choose you. It's not like, oh, I
Wow.
will choose courage so that I can push through. No,
Yeah.
honor yourself, and then courage will choose you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I can already feel that courage emitting from you right now, right? Which gives us to an interesting question. How do you keep that fire burning? Because we certainly feel that fire right now.
Um, I remember what Sarah was telling me when I was sick. I was sick
Okay.
a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. And really, just go back to basics. Drink your water,
Okay.
rest, sleep, um, journal, and do the things that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Even if that means you're not gonna make money from it, even if it means you have to say no to other people, just really rest, and you get the energy after you rest, after you do something that you enjoy, and
Mm-hmm.
it becomes a flow. It becomes very, very natural, and that's also honoring the purpose, honoring your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what fiery. It's like you can have this, like, I'm a I'm a projector, so I can have this fire energy all the time.
Yeah.
I need to rest. I really personally need to rest. But I think people only see this part of me. Like, oh, Kareena is so fiery. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you and be blunt about this.
Sure.
It's the thing that I only show on social media. I'm not like this
Mm-hmm.
24/7, and this is
Yeah.
my reality. People only see the fire just because I choose that. That's what I choose to portray or to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I want
Mm-hmm.
people to understand that I'm as human as everyone else. I need my
Yeah.
rest. I need my rest. I need my water. I need my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then that's what brings out the passion. That's what brings out my
Absolutely.
fire. Yeah.
Oh my God. Preach it. Everyone is loving you right now. And look, everything has just been positive. So I really want to like segue down into, because everything wasn't, it sounds like everything wasn't just like flowers, sunshines, and daisies, right? and I'm assuming that there would have been some challenges along the way. So what kind of challenges did you encounter, or maybe some obstacles when you actually started to pursue your passion?
Again, going back to people pleasing, there were a lot of people who questioned me. And then like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, what's happening to you? Oh my gosh, you're changing. I lost
Yeah.
a lot of people, and that's very heartbreaking. It does feel
Yeah.
like it's actually worse than a romantic heartbreak, because
Wow.
it's multiple people.
Interesting.
And yeah, losing people, but really over time you get used to it. I got used to it.
Okay.
um, it's, yeah, losing people. And um, oh, here's the thing. I just had it in me. It's losing people is easier than having to reframe your relationships, because like I have this very example.
Oh.
What I
Yeah.
have with my parents are forever. Like I can't lose, like,
Yeah.
like that's the relationship I will have forever.
Mm-hmm.
They have this picture of me of like, oh, this is Karina, this is how you molded her. And now that I'm changing, I had to reframe. I had to
Mm-hmm.
have this communication, because it's easy to
Mm-hmm.
leave people. It's easy to like drop them, and it's easier
Mm-hmm.
for them to drop me. But the hardest part is like really reframing a relationship and really putting, like, showing and be very vulnerable of like, this is the path that I'm currently in, and this is my, and I have a vision, and I'm still gonna create more. I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily expect them to understand, but then
Mm.
I'm just really asking them. It's so hard to like just love me as I am, like
Yeah.
especially the people that you really can't get rid of like, these are your family in this
Yeah.
world. So like
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
a lot harder. That's a lot harder. It's more of like sitting down and really reframing or creating a whole new relationship with the same people.
Yeah.
But it's very satisfying at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very, very satisfying. This has been the greatest relationship I had with my parents. Amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very worth it. But like, just like
Wow.
every darkness, like it like went through the crying, and then
Yeah.
the separation, the feeling of separation. But
Mm.
yeah.
Now it's very interesting right now because, like, at that point, maybe when you took that leap of faith and decided to pursue what you were passionate about, like, did you expect maybe the people that were closest to you to react? Maybe what you painted a picture in your mind on how they react.
No. Here's when I was really choosing myself, like really it like nothing mattered to me anymore.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
it was when I chose to jump,
Yeah.
it was like prior to the battle, I already had a battle in me
Mm-hmm.
of
Amazing.
like, it was, I was already sharpening my own knife before I went into the battle of like, when people would ask me these things. And like, yeah,
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions, and people were telling me like, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, and you know what, my standard answer is just, I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
it really is still my standard answer. Like, I'm happy with it, I'm happy where I'm
Yeah.
at. So I'm just hoping that you're happy for me.
Mm.
And I don't need to have this whole conversation of I have to prove myself, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. At least I don't do that
Yeah.
anymore.
Absolutely. And I love that you're owning yourself, right? So how does that feel to actually, like, put your foot forward and just like
Yeah.
you're choosing you out of everyone else? Like, how does that feel?
At the very beginning, it feels so lonely,
Okay.
and then there were new people that came around,
Interesting.
and then it doesn't feel lonely anymore. It it
Yeah.
it the thing is like, I understood that I didn't really need much. I only needed the right ones.
Wow.
It was, and you know what, I prayed for it. I really cried and prayed for it and asked
Yeah.
for it, and that's the biggest thing. I really, when I honored myself already and I didn't know what to do, I keep on asking. I keep on asking for the usual. Please protect me.
Mm.
Please, like, please protect me. Please guide me, because like I knew I couldn't. do it alone, and I knew I'm going to lose a lot of people that are
Mhm.
currently in my life. And
Yeah.
like I'm really happy that I was led to the right people, and being here with the self work, with Sarah and her
Mm.
community, and more
Absolutely.
communities. And yeah, at the beginning it feels like lonely.
Mm.
But just really, I was trusting that again. I was already lonely prior to this. So I
Mhm.
was like, the worst thing that could happen is I'm going to end up lonely. So I wouldn't know any difference. So if
Yeah.
there's support, that's 100% bonus already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. It's very inspiring to people that are watching this as
Thank you.
well.
Thank you.
So, what I want to circle back to, and maybe a lot of people are dealing with this, is exactly what happened to you. Right, you lost some people along the way, and were there people that were actually like close to you that you think that you maybe you thought that you're going to be friends forever, or you were going to have this person in your life for a very long time, right? So, how did that feel to basically kind of like detach yourself from those people who weren't ready to move forward with you?
Um, there are some who I had to like really like I had to like unfriend on Facebook, but some
Yeah.
like actually most it just they were like it felt so natural that they weren't like they didn't belong anymore. Like
Mm,
there it
interesting.
wasn't planned. It wasn't planned.
Okay.
It was just like because I had to remove myself to like different locations so that I can
Hmm.
really pursue my own dreams. And that means I would have to go away and not be with the friends that I keep on hanging out, because some of these friends are like just drinking buddies, or
Hmm.
like people that I see when I'm sad. But like when I decided not to be sad anymore,
Yeah.
they were not relating to me, and I couldn't relate
Interesting.
anymore. Yeah, but it's not a bad thing. Quite an experience as well. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
finding the right people already who's actually happy for me too. Not right now. Here I'm understanding that it wasn't like not that they're bad, or not that I'm good, or not that I'm bad or they're good. It's just that
Yeah.
we were there for like the perfect time in our lives, and as everything else transitions, understanding it in a very like in a bigger scale, it's not as painful as how I used to like picture it or like I'm like, oh my gosh,
Wow.
it's so painful. Like it's not
Yeah.
right now. When I transition and I lose people, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like I super duper understand that I
Mm,
needed this.
it's very
Yeah.
interesting. It's absolutely beautiful as well, and it's kind of like things are falling into pieces for you. That's what
Yes.
it sounds like. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was absolutely inspiring and very courageous as well. So, last kind of like question for everyone that is here right now and tuning in. If someone was kind of like in a similar position as to where you were before you took that
Mm-hmm.
leap of faith, what is something that you can basically advise them or give guidance to as to maybe helping them to just do it, just put themselves first?
First, ask yourself, are you happy where you're at? Like, am I? If I I go back to my morbid question when I was sick.
Hmm.
If I'll be gone tomorrow, what would I rather do?
Wow.
Yeah, and whatever comes, like don't even question it. Like the first answer that pops up, that's it. Don't second
Okay.
guess yourself. Write it down. Like before you even ask yourself that, grab a paper and a pen. The first answer that you get, and you just write it down.
Hmm.
And you don't have to like rush into that answer. Like I have to be here. Like just be with it. Be with the answer and sit with it and look at it and feel what that feels like if you're doing that. Actually, it's the feeling, and it's a feeling that really moves you forward. So when you look at this answer, the answer that you have, just really feel through it. Look at it, feel through it. Like, does that feel good? And know that you deserve that feeling.
Yeah.
That's what really pushes us. That's what pushed me to move forward, because like, oh, I deserve to feel good. I deserve to
Mhm.
be healthy. I deserve to do the things that I want to do. And after when you get that great feeling, you don't question it anymore. Naturally, your body will lead you to it. Sometimes it's not something that you plan. Like your
Mm.
body moves through your joy once you see what that joy looks like. Yeah, it's not even the how. It's more of sitting with it and honoring. And if there's something that's telling you that, oh, I'm probably not happy, also write it down. Like, what are the things that doesn't make you happy? Yeah. I like what, just like every self-help group would say, journal.
Mm.
And that's a big thing because
Yeah.
that's when you see it physically through
Hmm.
words,
Mm.
where you're at, like where I'm at. I still do journaling a lot. And
Mm.
I'm still not done with my passion. Like there's still more.
Yeah. That's it.
So like it doesn't mean that like, oh, I found my passion. You have multiple passion. Trust me. There's going to be more.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
So
Love
I
it.
love that question. I love that question so much. It brings me
Yeah.
back. It brings me back. Yeah.
Great. That's it. We can certainly feel the passion in you that's emitting right now. So
Thank
lastly,
you.
is there anything that you want to say to basically the audience and the viewers right now? Any final words?
Yeah. Well, having the courage to pursue your passion is less of what you do. It's really less of what you do. It's sitting down and loving yourself more, resting, drinking your water, go back to basics, and then join Sarah's group. You're never alone. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
You're never alone because like whenever this is my personal experience as well. In every level that I had, I feel supported and loved through this group because someone will catch me, someone will support me, someone will love me. So even if like the future me would like go 10 levels up, someone will still meet me there. I'm 100% sure about that now. And
Mhm.
so knowing that, that's why I encourage people to jump into the group as well because I don't want people to feel or that it's so scary to jump into things because no one's gonna catch you. No, someone's gonna catch you.
Mhm.
I swear, someone's gonna catch you. And so, but be still, meditate and check in. Give yourself 5 minutes a day. Like if you could scroll on your phone for like an hour, you can give yourself like 10 minutes of your day. Hi,
Absolutely.
Sarah. Uh, we can
You're
hear
on
you,
mute.
love.
All right. Well, while
You missed
Sarah's
out
fixing
my
herself,
super excited. You missed out my super excited voice. I was like, that was really lovely, guys. I really enjoyed
Kevin is such
listening.
an
Can you
amazing
can you hear me
host.
now? No.
We
yeah, we
can,
can hear
we
you. We can
can.
hear you.
Okay,
Go ahead.
perfect. So I would just like I'm dropping in to thank you guys. Thank you. This was an amazing conversation. Very inspiring. Very passionate. Full of heart and soul and authenticity, which I love. And I love seeing you both here. So thank you guys. And those who are listening, thank you for being here. Tonight is the second night of our sacred circle. If you guys don't know what that is, we've started a sacred circle in this community because this is part of my dream to be doing some sort of open free support where we actually go deep into the teachings and practices and tools that I talk about all the time or that everyone else in this group talks about all the time. Getting in touch with your emotions, talking about it, being authentic, being seen. There is a powerful process of healing that happens when you are in a sacred circle, when you're in a space with people who are able to hold you in your highest vibration. And this is what the sacred circle is wanting to provide. So it's for free, but to keep the sacredness of the circle, we cannot accommodate everyone. So this will be an event that needs to have pre-registration moving forward. I think for tonight, we still have spots for 4 more people, 3 or 4 more people. So if you haven't registered and you want to do that, I think Charlene is here with us somewhere there. She's probably going to put in the link to join us in the Zoom. even if we exceed like 10 or 12 people, it's still okay. We're still polishing this process of running the sacred circle. And my dream in the future is that we can have multiple sacred circles happening in the community every week, maybe like 2 or 3 sacred circles in a week, so that different people can hold the circle and ripple in effect of holding space and appreciating people, seeing, honoring them in their humanness, in their divinity, honoring their emotions, practicing compassionate communication, and all the beautiful things that we are learning in this self-work project or movement in this community. So again, I'm here for that announcement. I sound so formal, but it's very unlike me, guys. I swear, if you guys know, we wish a lot of you too. Like, I'm very informal, really. But yeah, again, I'm also taking this opportunity to thank you, Kareena, Kevin. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and a lot of people did as well. So good job, guys. Thank you. All right, so I
Thank
think we're
you.
hopping off. I'll leave this thing and I'll let you guys finish up, and I'll be waiting on the Zoom call for our sacred circle. Bye.
I'll see you there.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We had a lot of fun. And yeah, just give it
Yeah.
up for Kareena. Make some noise in the comments for her. She did an amazing job.
Thank you. I mean, I'm only flowing and I'm only in my authenticity because I really honor myself, and I'm really flowing because I feel safe with you, Kevin, and I'm really glad that
Oh,
you're
thank you.
hosting me tonight.
You're welcome. All right.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Kareena, any last words?
Have a good night and eat your dinner and join the Sacred Circle if you feel called.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.